Welcome back to the Illuminated Path. This is episode 38. What are we talking about today?
We are talking about kindness and its role in healing and growing, and that's really kindness towards ourselves, towards other people. We are joined by two of our dogs. This is like our sixth time starting
Yep.
over the episode because they wanted to move and get up and do all the things. So hopefully they will stay calm right
I don't
now.
think I have another take in me. I'm going to have to just plow through this one.
The day this episode is dropping is my sister's wedding,
Nice.
which is so crazy.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's going to be so fun. Good luck to me on my speech. I can't believe she's getting married, and it's just going to be a really amazing day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So, I think kindness is a really interesting component of not just growing and uh, healing, but it's growing as a person. Like you reach a point of realizing like there's really no need for anything but kindness to people.
Yeah.
And I think unfortunately a lot of people don't get there. And that's not to say like I'm perfect, I'm kind with everyone, but that is what I lead with,
Yeah.
and the intention that I carry into my interactions. And, um, I think when I think back to who I used to be, it was very short with people, rude, um, and especially, I think the weird transition for me is like respecting my time more, but still being kind when people waste it,
Yeah.
versus before just like not respecting my time, but always being rude to people.
Yeah. I think that it is such a big piece of growing, and you're going to get much further in life when you are kind to people. There's been times where I'm on the phone with someone, calling a company about something or internet or I don't know, something along those lines, right? And it's like you get annoyed and you just start getting frustrated and you start getting rude with the person. But it doesn't usually get you anywhere. And there
Yeah.
have been times where I was frustrated and I felt myself starting to take it out on this customer service representative who is literally not in control. They're just
Right.
doing their job and what they're told to do. And I've actually apologized before and been like, I'm sorry, I'm getting frustrated. It's not directed at you. You are just the one receiving this because you are the one that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
But I apologize. And also, this is not cool or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a way to express your maybe dissatisfaction with something or that you have a problem that needs to be resolved without being rude in the process.
Yeah. I always hear that line. I was raised to treat the janitor the same as the CEO.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and I think like I've heard people say like, oh, that's not legit because the CEO has a much different position, blah, blah, blah. And I think the big flaw in this logic is like people are not um, assigned a value based on the work that they do.
No, absolutely. And I've always heard you need to give respect to your elders or respect to this person with
Mm,
this high title. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to be kind, but it also is based on how I'm treated too.
yeah, respect is earned and it's a two-way street. I've had a lot of situations with that and as you know, in my family. And that was a big conversation that I had with my parents of like, you know, you guys also need to respect me if you expect that respect.
Yeah.
And, my parents are great people. We've had a rocky relationship and we've worked very hard to be where we're at today. And I'm very proud and grateful of where we're at. So
Yeah. It's really easy to be mean or short with people that you are literally closest to.
yeah. And I think that's a really difficult part of the healing journey because you're trying to heal, but at the same time, you see your family usually as this like strange extension of yourself. And the people in our lives that we're close to that we really should be treating the best end up being people that we're far more willing to be harsh on.
Or you lose your temper with,
Yep.
or take something out on them that has nothing to do with them.
Yep.
I think you and I do a really good job of not taking things out on each other when it is a completely, like, external, stressor.
Yeah. I think we've grown a lot there. I have not been perfect, but I think for the most part, there's things about our relationship that I really appreciate deeply. One of the biggest ones being we don't name call when
I
we're
couldn't do
upset
that.
with each other.
Yeah.
We don't sometimes we do. We'll cuss at each other, but it's not like F you.
We've never, like, called each other a name.
Just the language becomes a little more colorful,
We
but
can be
it's not.
short.
Yeah, yeah. So I think but taking this back, I think that we tend to be a little more short or angry at times, even more disrespectful with people that we're close to. And a lot of that is kind of this projection of your relationship with yourself,
Yeah,
right? You're more willing to be harsh with yourself and you're a little more willing to be harsh with your family.
yeah.
So, part of that healing journey is really developing that kindness, not just in, you go to a restaurant and you're nice to the waiter, but also being nice to yourself. By being nice to yourself, it's easier to be nice to everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a totally different mindset to always be coming from that kindness.
Right.
And when you're talking about being kind to yourself, I mean, that is such a huge piece. We have had episodes about talking about, like, being kind to yourself, not judging yourself, not guilting yourself, because all that does is, if, like, you're just harsh on yourself and mean to yourself, and
You're just beating yourself up.
yeah, it's again not conducive to growth at all. It really keeps you stuck.
Mm.
It keeps you stuck in a place of, like, just feeling shame.
You're feeling guilt, you're feeling shame, you're literally creating stress in your life because of your relationship with yourself and how you talk to yourself.
Yeah. I mean, we've caught my mom calling herself
Oh
stupid,
my god. I
and
Yeah.
told her before, and we've been like, "You know, we don't talk like
Yeah,
that.
we've
You are
told
not
her.
stupid. Like, you are so
Yep.
allowed to make mistakes. It is okay. It doesn't mean you're stupid." And it just, like, breaks my heart
I
when
know
she says that.
it's tough when I hear it, and I've actually gotten to the point of, like, when she says something like that, I just go, "Don't like that."
No, no, no.
Yeah,
But
but she did take your, 21-day challenge, and that was part of the self-talk component, and she mentioned that, like, she's noticed that she is kind of negative with herself, and she's working on that, and I think that's a really, beautiful thing, not even just that she's, taken your course and really took the step to support you,
mhm,
but also got a lot of value out of it and
yeah.
was able to pull something really meaningful out of it.
Yeah. We're really often, like, just easy to criticize.
Yeah.
Again, whether that is criticizing ourselves or someone else, but, like, when you are just criticizing yourself, it's like it's almost like this block goes up. Like, you're
Yeah.
creating this wall of, like, well, it didn't work the way I wanted it to, or this didn't happen the way it should have, and it's like you almost freeze.
I think it has a lot to do with judgment,
Yeah.
and I think if you take anything from this episode, this is a lifelong commitment, and this is something I've been working on for years, but truly try to stop judging people
Yeah.
because it really is a larger reflection of your relationship with yourself.
Right. Like, that's not kind.
No.
You're just, like, projecting, like, your own insecurities
Yeah.
and pointing things out in others that are, like, wrong to you or incorrect.
Mm,
And meanwhile, internally, you have all of these same, thoughts and ideas about yourself, or, like, in a different way. So
yeah.
you may not think it, but that really kind of is what's happening when you are, like, judging others.
Yeah. And so I think the kind of flip side of this is you want people in your life that are kind.
Mm,
And I think when you really get intentional with putting positive energy in your life, having kindness in your life, you'll also start to see people who aren't bringing that energy into your life and your circle, and um, how different people behave. And that's really kind of the part of the healing journey is, shedding those relationships and kind of walking away from things that aren't making you feel good, because frankly, if they're not making you feel good, there is some sort of cost to your body, to your inflammation, your mental state. Like, all of these things are factors. So I think it's important in your healing journey to consider your judgment. I grew up with a dad who loves to people watch, and I ended up loving to people watch.
No, you can like maybe just observe.
Right. And so now I observe, but he would always make a judgment. And that was something I grew up with and I learned to do.
Yeah.
And so
It's
it,
natural, like, it is
yeah.
human tendency to be curious of other people, of what's going on around you, and then there's, like, this piece of you that, like, thinks you have to have a thought about it or an idea
Mm,
about it or, like and that is, again, like, that's also putting your energy into something that is so
yes.
outside of you and irrelevant to your life, and, like, you've just given that energy away to a stranger
Yep. You're
for
you're
no reason.
giving away your time, you're giving away your energy, and it speaks volumes about your relationship with yourself. So, try to stop judging, try to lead with more confidence, more kindness, and also be mindful of that and what other people are bringing into your life.
Yeah, and I also was thinking about, like children, like being kind to children when they're learning or when they are not listening and frustrating you,
Yeah.
and just the way that like they'll respond to either your kindness or like you like bringing on fear to them or
Mm,
like have they kind of like are shutting down. Like we've said, we don't have children yet, but I used to babysit twins. They were 4 years old,
yeah.
so very much in like their developmental stage, and there were times where I would get frustrated with them, and it's like I had to catch myself.
Yeah.
And the little boy, there was a boy and a girl. The little boy was so sensitive. He was so cute. I loved them. I think of them to this day, but he was very sensitive. So he could sense like even like a slight tone change of like trying to be stricter. And like
Yeah.
there obviously is a balance of being like strict, but
Mm,
you can be strict and kind at the same time.
right.
Like know that like you are giving the direction and telling them like that is an absolute no or like this is what you need
Right.
to do.
Like, you can be assertive in
Yeah,
your kindness.
right.
Right.
But doing it in a way that's not like scary to them.
Yeah. And I think that's a good transition really into inner child work,
Yeah.
because if you are needing to work on being judgmental and leading with kindness, a lot of that is going to have to do with your relationship with yourself. And that's going to have to really stem from inner child work and what you needed when you were a child, and kind of that more childlike part of you and what your relationship is with that part of you.
Right. I mean, and definitely like different like children respond differently. But just like this little boy, I was a very sensitive I am a very sensitive person. Like
Mm,
I consider myself like a highly sensitive person, an empathetic person, and I have grown into believing those are like superpowers of
mm,
mine. I don't see it as a negative thing,
yeah.
although I used to see it as a bad thing. But I like more kindness to me motivates me.
Yeah.
When I'm receiving things in a way of kindness and like constructive criticism or whatever, like I'm able to handle that better than like if I am receiving it in a way that doesn't feel kind.
Right. And I think that it gives a very different approach to life. Like, your relationships change. There's less stress, less drama. You're genuinely focused on good things.
Yeah.
And, I had a conversation with our friends when we went on a hike the other day, and I was talking about trading and, like the whole trading is a fascinating world, and like it's not really about trading. It's about when you don't trade, and it's about psychology, and it's about emotions.
Mhm.
And I said to one of our friends, I said 99% of traders fail. They're not profitable. And our friend said to me, "You'll get it." And it's like that I knew that I could expect that response, that energy in sharing this. And like for me, I don't have that worry. Like I've already created that identity and know, what I'm manifesting here. But surrounding yourself with those people will change your life, because now it
Absolutely.
wasn't I was being challenged on this identity shift. It was further affirmation and reinforcement of what I'm creating.
Yeah, it's support
Yeah.
versus, someone, like you said, challenging you.
And
Like,
and knowing like what kind of support system I have, what kind of energy is in my life. Like that interaction is exactly why I'm very selective with who's in my life.
yeah.
Anything else on kindness?
No, I think that's it. Be kind. I I don't know why this just popped into my head, but I had taken Tico on a walk one time to the park near us, and there was a little writing on the bench, and it was like, "Be kind always." And I have a picture
Yeah.
of Tico with that saying, and I just love it. And good reminder.
Yeah. And so I guess one last thought is really, when you're kind, that is a much better frequency than angry, greedy, guilt, shame. That is a high loving frequency. And this goes back to manifesting, which we still really got to talk more about when we get the new set. I
I know
think
we got like like that episode was highly watched and listened to, so
people loved that episode. That one and the standard American diet.
gotta dive further.
Yeah. So we definitely got more to talk about. But when you are kind, you are embodying a much higher version of yourself. You truly are making life easier and with far less friction.
Yeah.
And if you're not a kind person, that's okay too, but work at it.
Don't mistake kindness for weakness because that's not at all what it
No,
is.
oh, that's a good one. Everybody talks about kindness is a weakness. I think I would refer to Gary Vee on this, where he says, actually, we live in a world where a lot of people are not kind. You're not special for that. You're far more special for being kind when people aren't.
Yep.
That is a true superpower. And if you can be kind in a world that is not showing you kindness, you're
You're
ahead.
resilient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're resilient and you're leading with love. Truly,
Yeah.
those are great points. Anything else?
No, I think now we're good
I
after
think
we made
now
a
we're
few more
good.
points.
A few more. We kind of were winging that episode, so hopefully it worked.
And don't mind the doggy noises.
Yep.
They've definitely been moving a little bit and hearing their collars.
Yep. Friendly reminder, you can write in at the illuminatedpathpodcast.com. You can suggest topics, get us in touch with different guests, or apply for live coaching. So there's plenty of options. Please feel free to leave us a review, comments on YouTube. It all helps. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.